All right, everybody, today's a great day because we're going to be learning how to make ID cards. So let's say you're working for a company and they want all their associates to be able to enter their information into a program and then they'll print them off an ID card. And this company has hired you to build that. And so that's what we're going to do. And this program is going to be using a lot of inputs and prints. And I already have made videos on those, and I'll link those below if you still need help on that. So, whenever you start a project, it's important to know what direction you're going. It's important to have a clear goal and a clear vision, and then just go from there and build off of that. And so, I've already coded this out, what we're going to be doing, because it's a pretty good reference. And essentially, we're just going to ask them for their first name, their last name, their email, and so on, all the way down to if they've received training. And so, after that, after we've gotten their information, we're then going to print off their very own customized ID card, which will be different depending on what they say. And so to get started, the best way to do this in this situation is to just list off all of the information, all of the inputs that we need right off the bat. And so let's make a variable and name it first name or F name, whatever works best for you. And again, we're going to use an input. Ask them, what is your first name? And we are basically going to do this for all of the information that we want. So we're going to ask for their last name. What is your last name? You can't have an ID card without their first and last name, right? So now we're going to ask for their email. Again, same exact process. We'll ask for their phone number. And we can, honestly, to speed this up, just say something like this. There's many ways to ask them for information. Ask them for their job title. We're also going to ask them for their ID number. So where's their hair color? And we are almost done. Just need their birth month. Their eye color. And so you can see it's basically the same process over and over again when you're wanting to gather this type of information. And we'll ask them, have you received your training? Awesome. So now I think that's all the information we're going to need from them. Now here's the fun part. We get to make art with whatever they just told us. So let's let them know right off the bat, your ID card. And when we're printing, we're going to need to use formats. And so a lot of the information will be absolutely the same regardless of whatever they typed in. It will be the same for all associates. But a lot of that information is going to change. So we'll just print for sure the information we know that is going to be the same across the board. And we'll let our variables do all the work for the personalized information. This is just gonna add some flair to it, kind of make it, put it in a box. And so again, my favorite way to format is just by starting off with F, and then we jump straight into the quotes, and then using curly brackets in order to call our variables. And so we'll start with their last name. And I do want to show something that is very nice and comes in a lot of handy in multiple programs. And that's something that's a tool you can use called upper. And so let's say we want to capitalize entire their entire last name. That's where upper comes in. And so after their variable, you just press dot and then upper, and make sure to add these parentheses as well. And you'll see when we run this that that's going to capitalize every single letter in that. There's also capitalize, which we'll use right now. So same thing. And capitalize, instead of capitalizing every single letter in the whatever word it is, it's just going to capitalize the very first word. And also make sure to add parentheses there. Great. Now let's print off their job title. So same thing, start with F. And actually, honestly, this time we can just insert the job title straight in. So we'll just do that. And we'll want to capitalize this as well. All right, now we're going to want to print off their ID number. So again, using F to format, ID, space. Now we'll call on that. Yep, we have that right there. Make another line. And let's give it some space here. So we'll add empty print. We'll add another print. Format this. Or once again, we don't even need to do that. So we can just insert their email exactly as they gave it to us. Same with their phone number. Add another empty print line just to make it look pretty. Now we're going to add, let's add their hair color, their eye color, as well as their birth month, and whether they've received training or not. And so this is where using the formatting that I have in these examples really starts to come in handy, because we can do some nice stuff with formatting in this way. So let's just, for now, let's just add it like normal. So we'll do F and then hair. And then we're going to throw in there. Here we're going to capitalize that. And let's also throw in their eyes as well. Perfect. Oh, always got to remember to throw those parentheses in there. And looks like our last line of code, we'll just print F quote, and we'll add the month. Again, just calling on that variable. And if they have received training. Perfect. And then we'll just copy and paste this top line. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Give it a second to load. I'm just gonna scrap that and run it again. What's your first name? Joe. Last name Johnson. Email. Number. Boss man. And there it is. We printed off a nice, good looking card. And that's your ID card. And I think the company would be pretty satisfied with that. But there is a few things we can do just to make it look a little nicer. So this is where, again, I wanted to show you where we can make formatting really work for us. And so in order to do this, see how these lines, that it's just kind of like jumboed and they don't really match up? Well, we can make those look like nice even columns using formatting. And so we're just going to come here, and it's pretty simple. After your variable, including the function that we used after it, just going to press colon and 12. And that's going to give it whatever number you do there. You can do 7, you can do 10. That's going to make whatever that variable is equal 12 spaces. And you'll see what I mean once I get into this. Once we display it in the terminal. And then we'll do the same thing down here. Let's just give it 12. But let's also give this another space just because month has one more letter than hair. So that way it will line up pretty well. Now let's see what happens when we do this. So, Kronk. His hair color is black. His birth month is November. My color is brown. And yes. Awesome. So there you go. There you have it. That's how to make your very own ID card. And so that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed making this. There's one more cool thing we could add just to add a little bit of flair that I think would be nice. We can import a library. So we can do import, this is one of my favorite ones, time. And let's say we want to get like a loading screen, right? If you've ever thought about that. I mean, normally you wouldn't want to actually intentionally put in a loading screen, but just for the effect, it might be a little cool to say, we can tell them printing your card now. And then we can use this time.sleep. And then add a parenthesis. And then whatever number we put in here, that's how many seconds it's going to be. So let's give it 3. And we'll run this again. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'll just enter random information this time. And pay close attention to the terminal. We're going to tell it brown. Yes. And it says printing your ID card. And after 3 seconds, it did it. So that's something pretty cool you can use, especially once you start like making games and you have like, I don't know, dialogue screens that you have to display. It's nice to add some time in between those. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I hope that you're able to learn something new. And if there's anything you think I missed or anything cool I should implement, or if you have any questions, I'm always open to hearing that. And so throw it in the comment section below. Once again, guys, thank you guys for checking it out, and I hope you have a wonderful day.